Well, we want to thank everybody for coming. The reason why we wanted to do this was it's going to be a team event, right? This is going to take a team to do. We just got the keys last week, literally to the plant. We're starting working our changes to the plant, but it's going to take a community, right? The region, we're really excited about the region. I've said it a couple times. The plant kind of attracted us early on, but as we started realizing the workforce here and the talent here and the attitudes here, it's a great place to make cars. What we're going to tweak a little bit is we want it to be a great place to make electric cars. And if we do it right, we don't want to get over ambitious. It's tough enough, our challenge, to bring our car to market. But if we do it right, I think we have the opportunity to really make this a hub, kind of an epicenter in the Midwest, or maybe for the whole country, for electric vehicles. So we are inviting a lot of our suppliers to come here as well, right? So if we need electric motors, our electric motor suppliers agreed to make those inside of our plant, right? We will have a small battery pack facility that makes our packs inside of our plant, right? General Motors, I think, has been articulated in the press about they might make a battery plant here, right? We want wiring harness people here. We want, all the folks that make the new type of tier 1 parts that we need. There's no kind of central place to do it. So we think this can be the jump start of that. So that's our goal. I mean, our very short goal is to bring a product to market, the first electric pickup truck in the United States. But to do that, it sure helps to have a lot of suppliers, and those bring jobs and all the things that you would think. But we're getting a tremendous amount of help from the state, right? Because we're going to need it, and we think it's worthy of state help because we're bringing not just jobs but new kind of jobs. We think these are the jobs of the future. Obviously, we believe electric transportation is the future, and especially in commercial trucks, right? So that's where we're starting. And we brought the team. We've got a lot of the management team here you can meet with individually. We have our 2 local senators, Mayor of Lordstown, Senate, and Congressman Ryan. And Congressman Ryan has the tightest schedule, so if it's all right with everybody, we'd like to have him give some brief words.
Yeah, appreciate it, Steve. Thank you. First, I think on behalf of everybody here, we want to thank you and your team for coming to Lordstown, being in the Mahoning Valley. This is an incredible opportunity. You know the history of this facility and recent history, and so there's a lot of heartbreak around the community, and this is a huge bump for us. And I think everybody here, Democrat, Republican, business, labor, we recognize the opportunity here. What gives me the most confidence is when I look at your team, none of them have ties on, and that means they know what the hell they're doing. So we feel really good. We've had several conversations just for the delegation to know, and President Tressel and the Chamber. There's a program that we were able to put some money in, the Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loan Program. I've already talked to Congressman Johnson and Congressman Wenstrup from Cincinnati, the home of Workhorse, that will support an application to try to get this federal program to be accessed here. So I think I know you know this, we're all in. And this is the exact same team as you look around this room, from the Chamber of Commerce, President Tressel, this delegation, Mayor Hill, the TJX facility that's just up the road. This was the team that helped make that happen. And this is going to be the team that helps make you have a huge success here. So we can't thank you enough. I know you have all of our cell phone numbers. Call us, because we will call you back. Yeah. And we're not just allies, we're friends. So we're here to help you. So thank you so much for being here, and to your team. Thanks. I know, just for the press to know as well, because you were just telling me this yesterday, this team that Steve has put together is world class. Yeah. This is a world class team. So I would encourage the press, after you talk to all of us, go talk to them, because you're going to be impressed with their resume. And when you think about how is this really going to happen, you win with people. And you got a world-class team here. So I'm super thrilled about what you're doing here, and thank you for all your leadership.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
Congressman.
You know, and President Tressel, that's really the first thread was I reached out to him to say, you know, we wanted some engineering talent. We want to, you know, starts with interns and graduates, and we know that anybody who's going to Youngstown State is already a fan of the area, right? And we want to encourage that. So Jim has been a great advocate from the first day, and I think everybody realizes he's a builder of teams, and he appreciated the team we were building. And what Congressman was saying was we have folks from, you know, GM and Ford and Chrysler and Hyundai and Volkswagen and Workhorse, of course, and Tesla. So we were ecstatic. The thing that I thought would be the toughest was building the team, right? And we've been able to attract, because of the excitement of the project, and really a lot of it, your closeness to Detroit, we were able to attract just world-class folks. So the engineering team, these are the leaders that are here today, but we're gonna, you know, a lot of rank and file engineers, our sales and marketing teams, our human resources, everything that it takes, our dealer build out, everything that it's going to take, we're going to try to have as much of it centered here as we can. So this isn't just a factory for us, this is our headquarters. And I really, knowing that there's also a local talent of engineering, they're working, Youngstown State's working on autonomous driving, all the things that we want to do. There's a battery testing facility here. It's a really quite remarkable when you expand out this region, what's available. So it's really the perfect place. It might seem an odd place to bring electrification to, but really, as a result, it's a perfect place. This place we're sitting in is such a gem of a building, state-of-the-art machines inside of it. GM, who, by the way, was super professional through the entire 11th month process of acquiring this. They've kept it very up to date. You know, for making those cruises, they had the most modern equipment in there. It is still warm from when it made its last cruise. They have not taken anything out. So it's extremely rare to get a plant like this, and we're not aware of any circumstances where somebody's got a plant like this fully stocked, right? And so it's a great jumping off point because we're in a hurry, right? We want to be first to market. And we've been engineering for a long time, but having a fully stocked plant, you know, fully functional, up-to-date, modern plant, that jumping off point saves us years. And of course, a lot of capital. So you guys, I think the community knows what a gem this building is. I don't think they're ever going to build another building like this, right? This is an incredible physical building. All the infrastructure, the trucking, the railroad, everything that's there, it's just perfect. I mean, it was built for one thing, volume, production of vehicles, and we intend to get the volume as soon as possible. So, you know, with that, I'd like, if everybody's comfortable, maybe each of the folks on this side of the table could say a little something, just to,
Sure.
you know, comment if you wanted to.
Sure. Senator Sean O'Brien, welcome to the 32nd District. We're very glad to have you here and your team. And as the Congressman, I want to echo his remarks, we're very excited. You know, it was less than a year ago that we first met and heard about the project, and to be at this stage already is very exciting, and working with your team. And I just had breakfast with the governor on Tuesday. We talked about this project, and our Valley delegation is meeting with the administration regarding some of the asks and things that may be needed in the next week or two. He put this on a priority list, so we're all going to be meeting with the governor. And we're excited. We have Jobs Ohio here. We have the chamber here. As the congressman said, we're a good coalition. We're proud to work with you. We take good pride in this area, in this plant. It means a lot to all of us. So having someone like Lordstown Motors being here, Senator Rowley and I went down to see the product firsthand, and it is an amazing vehicle. And we look forward to having it manufactured here and doing what we can to help make this project work. So thank you, thank your team, and thank all of you for being here. I think it's going to be a great fit here in the Valley.
Great, thanks. Thank you.
Senator Michael Rowley, 33rd District. Thank everyone for coming here, especially all the different divisions and all the categories of the community that we are very privileged to have you here. But I just want to take a moment, I want to talk about Steve. So in the last year, Sean O'Brien and I have had quite a few meetings with Steve. We've been down to Cincinnati, spent the whole day there. And when you're with Steve, you're going to realize something. The guy is magical. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. He's always about creating, being innovative, and he's exciting. When you're around him, he's exciting. So when we got to the plant down there, Sean came up with the idea. He says, let's get down there and let's get dirty. Let's roll up the sleeves and let's see what's going on. So they take us around, they show us the wheel hub motor, how exciting that is. It's almost like thinking for the first time. It's not a combustional engine, everything's different. And they had some UPS trucks they were working on there, and everything was exciting. And Steve says, let's go for a test drive. And so I was so excited because, you know, we were raised with this plant. All my relatives worked here. All of our friends worked here. I mean, this plant, I mean, it just hurt so bad to see this go down. And when I met Steve, I just like, you know, hope came back. And it was so exciting. And we got in this vehicle. And I mean, from the time you step on the gas, the acceleration of these vehicles, it's nothing like you could experience, and the stopping's even better. This is a serious product. This could change the way that we look at driving for the rest of our existence. And the idea that Steve has that vision to bring it here and to make it happen here and to get these kids off the phones and out of the basements and into this Lordstown plant, Lordstown Motors, it's a whole exciting chapter, and there is hope. And I appreciate the renaissance, Steve.
Thanks, man.
God bless you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm Arno Hill, Lordstown Village Mayor. You know, I think this is a fantastic opportunity. You know, I don't know who came up with the name, but I kind of like the name too. Lordstown Motors, you know?
I did that.
But you know, I've always told people, you know, if you don't change with the times, you kind of wither and die on the vine. And I think that this will be a great epicenter for what's going to be happening in the Mahoning Valley. This has been our mainstay. You know, for the last 40 years, we've kind of been in a little bit of a decline, but I think that this is a new adventure, and I think it will be very successful. Hearing about all the management team, the sales team, and everything, you know, I'm very excited on the behalf of Lordstown. Welcome.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And by the way, I'm sorry, before you jump on that theme. So the word Lordstown is going to be on the back tailgate of every pickup truck we make. So going across the country. So I think everybody's probably heard of Lordstown because of all the political nature of it. But you know, that name of that town is going to be on every pickup.
That's the name of the truck.
The truck's name is Endurance. I should expound on that a little bit. When we were thinking of the name, we wanted to make it for the people that are, you know, the only word I can think of is grit, but that wouldn't be a good name for a pickup truck, I don't think. But, you know, the grit and the determination and the endurance of the workers here. So we wanted them to make you know, this is a working man's truck that they're going to be making, and so we wanted to name it for them, their endurance. So Lordstown Endurance, I think those two words go together well. And then, you know, it goes far on a charge. It's a tough vehicle, so it's good for the vehicle as well.
Michael O'Brien, State Representative from Trumbull County, and believe me, Steve, Lordstown has endured.
Yes.
Lordstown has
know.
endured, and they've withstood, today, you know, 53 years ago was a historic day, and now this is a historic day for Lordstown, and speaking with Senator O'Brien and Senator Ruley, and Representative Gil Blair and Representative Manning and Representative Lepore Hagan, as Sean said, the entire delegation is there in support and working with Jobs Ohio, working with the governor's office, whatever we can bring from the states to Lordstown Motors, consider it done. So congratulations.
Thanks, Senator.
Again, this is a historic day for the whole Mahoning Valley.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, man.
am Jim Tressel, president of Youngstown State University, and it's been exciting when we had a chance to meet Steve and his team when they came to campus, and I would just briefly say that what we pledged to do is to make sure that gritty endurance type workforce that we've had in this valley for so many decades, that we'll continue to turn out. And we're going to work hard with all of our educational institutions, our career and tech centers, our K through 12, our community colleges, our 4 years, to make sure that you have the workforce you need. And we pledge to you that we're going to do that. And I'm also excited to see if I can be helpful at all as you build this team. I've enjoyed trying to build teams and be a part of teams, whatever position you play and whatever you do. And you know, you can be sure as you bring your great, talented group here that we can fill in the rest of the team to have that complete unit. And as all of the folks have said, this is an exciting moment for us. It's a moment that we're kind of interested in doing something that people aren't sure we could ever do. And you know, it's going to be an exciting time to work with you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Coach.
Jim.
Dan Palifka, Trumbull County Commissioner. I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues, Frank Fuda, County Commissioner, and Mauro Cancela Mesa. We're glad that you chose Trumbull County to come here, and we appreciate all the work, and we're here to assist you. And it's just great that this hasn't sat idle for too long, and you're moving in, and whatever we can do to help assist. Mauro's the president, and if you don't want to say a few words, Mauro.
No, just on behalf of the over, 200,000 citizens of Trumbull County, we just want to say thank you. You know, you've restored hope in a lot of the people here, a lot of the workforce, and we stand at the ready to aid you locally, however we possibly can. So, just want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for investing in Trumbull County. And when Tressel says he's gonna build a team,
I know.
it's a winning team.
There you go.
It's a football team, a college, a university.
I know.
I'm
He's-
pretty confident we're gonna have a winning team here, and we're gonna do well.
You got
Here's
it.
to the team. I just briefly want to say real quick for the press, Steve mentioned the endurance truck. Brittany, the website is up and there's a picture, is that correct?
Right.
And give the website address if you would.
It's lordstownmotors.com.
Okay, and there's a picture of the endurance truck, which you're welcome to use in lordstownmotors.com. Steve?
Good. Did you want to do questions or just
Okay,
let
yeah,
people
I
go
think
around to
what
the
we're gonna-
various?
Thank you. I think what we want to do is we'll have questions now, from the press while you guys are here. You're welcome to break off one-on-one with whomever you want to interview. And right after that, we're going to turn it over to Rich, and he'll talk about production and some of the plant here. He can kind of take you as a group, whoever wants to stay for that. So any questions? Go ahead.
Steve, have you secured enough funding to start operations here? And if you haven't, how long do you think it might take to get that funding?
Good. Well, we've been in kind of constant fundraising mode since we started this venture, and it's not complete yet. Really, with the plant secured, that's when the majority of it is now able to kick off. We've retained a Cleveland-based investment banking firm. The founding partner of it, Mike Gibbons, is here, and we.
That would be
Very shy.
Yeah. And so it's an ongoing effort, but really the serious fundraising started Thursday when we took the keys.
You had told me earlier this year that you intended to use UAW workers. Is that still your intention?
Yep, that's still our intent. We have not met with them, but we are scheduled to meet with them shortly, the UAW leadership. And so I can't say it definitively, but it is our intent.
Steve, how much capital will it take to really get these operations up and running and
Yeah.
produce those first vehicles that
Yeah.
you intend to?
I think I can say the number $300 million has been out in the press a bit.
Right.
I think it's safe to say it's going to be north of that. Right. So we want to make sure we've got enough Now, in this business, there's never enough in automotive. We've learned that, right? But for the experience we already have from putting electric trucks on the road, and the engineering we've been doing for a year, and getting the plant in the shape it's got, it dramatically lessens the normal capital expenditures required to do this sort of thing. So we're doing it far less than a conventional OEM would do it, but it's, in most circles, it's a lot of money.
We have the gentleman here that's doing all this for us, if you want to say a couple.
We're way ahead of the game versus the Teslas. There have been a number of, a good number of electric vehicle companies started and failed all over the world. And many times they had upwards of $1 billion of financing. This plant changes everything for us. We're that much further ahead than Tesla, for instance, when they started. I've been doing this my whole career, and I've never had a transaction like this where every single influence on the project was positive. You know, it's going to create jobs, everybody's for that. But it also has ramifications beyond that, where people that don't care, investments are typically made because they make returns, in financial returns. We have people wanting to invest in this because it has a positive impact on climate change. I mean, this has all the confluence of every positive force is helping us in this effort. Congressman Ryan spoke of the ATVM fund and how his office wants to help shepherd that through. I can tell you, I've spoken to Donald Trump's people, and they will tell you the same thing. We have both sides of the aisle. We have the president, we have Congress, we have both senators, both Ohio State senators are all over this. Or not state senators, but U.S. senators are all over this. I speak to them regularly. And let me say that normally it's great to have government help, but this project stands on its own. This project is profitable. If we didn't get a nickel of government help, I think we could get this done. Having the government help there assures us of it. And we don't have $1 of government help that I know of yet. But we're already out in the market. And this will be an international fundraising effort. We're already into the sovereign funds of a lot of nations that I've never been to. And there seems to be a high level of interest. Steve is a practical guy. A lot of the people that started these electric vehicle companies threw a lot of money in ideas, didn't even have a prototype, yet raised billions of dollars. Steve's got a vehicle ready to go on the road. Changes everything. Changes the economics that I have to sell. And I'm very positive about it. I think it's, we would not have taken this on because this is a major undertaking if we didn't think we'd get this done. And we're 100% behind. So.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Just kind of given the history of what's happened here with GM, there's a lot of skeptics out there. What do you say to folks who say, you know, is this going to be a long-term commitment? Are these going to be good-paying jobs that are going to sustain, you know, a livelihood in the area?
Yeah, again, with the whole epicenter premise, right? We don't want this plant to live from vehicle to vehicle, right? This particular vehicle gets past its life, and you got to pray and hope that another vehicle gets in here, right? We intend, again, it's our headquarters. It is, we're going to have, you know, we're starting with the first full-size pickup trucks. Our goal is to have an entire fleet of different types of vehicles, all electrification, right? So we're going to diversify it. We're not like a big OEM that could afford for one car not to do well, right? We have to do well with every vehicle we do, so especially the first one. So, you know, when you're a small up-and-coming OEM, your focus is maniacal, right? We don't have any legacy gas stuff to protect or anything. Everything is about the electrification. And again, first mover market, we've already got pre-orders for these vehicles. We know there's a strong, we've paid for a market survey from a very reputable company, bigger than we thought market for this, right? I think it goes without saying, but we wanted to prove it, right? Because the amount of dollars Mike's raising requires some proof, as much proof points as you can give, right? And so if we come out with the first electric pickup truck, I don't think we'll be able to make them fast enough.
You might want to mention, we have Ernst & Young, largest accounting firm in the world. It's confirming our projections and providing a market study. We have Baker & Hostetler, who's probably done more large startups than anybody in the nation, and they're top lawyer on that. We've tried to put together the people you need to get a deal this large done.
Right.
You know, I've made this case to any politician that'll listen to me, but I believe that this outcome is better for Youngstown than getting another vehicle from GM.
Yeah.
Every 7 years, Youngstown would say, what are you gonna let us make this year? Or what's the next model we can make for you? And you take orders from Detroit. The new question is gonna be how many of these are we gonna make this year? Because your headquarters are gonna be right here. And it's every new model is gonna be developed here, they're gonna be produced here. Youngstown, for the first time in my lifetime, is gonna be in charge of its own destiny because Lordstown Motors is headquartered here. And the decisions are gonna be made here.
Good point.
To build off of Steve's comments, I want to introduce John LaFleur. John, why don't you say a couple words to build off of that?
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to talk about the man and the mission. So, I was with Steve at Workhorse, developing the new vehicles and you know, taking this vision he has and getting it done. Workhorse was a lot smaller than we're going to be. So when Steve decided he wanted to take this W15 and transition over to a Lordstown motor vehicle, I joined him along with Julio Rodriguez, our CFO, and Steve says, okay, John, time to build the team. So when Mr. Trussell says build the team, I said, well, who can I get? Well, he already had Rich Schmidt, our chief production officer, who has an incredible resume. So Rich and I have been teaming up to find the best talent out there. Steve's introduced a number of leaders in the industry outside of our company that have just given us a tremendous amount of support. So when I say we have a team, you know, literally we've built this up with the best from all different factions, all different companies. So we're not a typical OEM. We go about things a little different. We have to because of the timeline we have to get everything done. We're not going to skip any quality or safety, but that's why we have the best joining us. I do want to introduce Darren Post. He's our chief engineer. And Darren, if you want to say just a couple things, he's an ex-GM guy, and this is short, brief.
So at a high level, about 10 years ago, I did the Cavalier Sunfire. I was the head of that program and worked with Lordstown, and we brought the new 2003 mid-cycle here. So coming back to this is very, very special to me, actually. We're building a team that we've got a lot of years experience doing full vehicle programs and electrified vehicles. So we're going to take all that knowledge extending from Workhorse, all of our experiences from General Motors or Karma, Tesla, and we're going to bring that to bear on this product. I think it's also exciting as we build the team, the opportunities also to mentor younger engineers is a very important one. And of course, we know how to work very well with the plant from a product engineering perspective so that we work together. Rich and our team will work intertwined to pull off an excellent vehicle. The vehicle itself, with the 4-hub motors, it's actually very revolutionary. It has very few moving parts. It's as simple, it's simpler in a way that for a fleet operator, we can optimize it for durability and maintenance. So when I think of endurance, I'm thinking of, from their perspective, this is going to be a high durability vehicle. We want to be the equivalent of a Snap-on tool. When they first think of an electric pickup truck, they think of the endurance. So that's our goal.
Thank you, Darren. I think Senator Rulli would like to say a couple words.
Yeah, I think, you know, I'm sitting here listening to all the stories and I'm thinking about visiting in Cincinnati, and you hear, like, you know, we're talking about a pickup truck, but like the engineer just said, I think if you're out there and there's national news and you are in charge of buying fleets of work trucks, whether you're Columbia Gas, Ohio Edison, or Armstrong locally, I think if Steve could take a minute, maybe introduce your sales leader over there, and also talk about what makes your concept of a truck. When we were talking about whether you're in Florida and there's a hurricane, if we have a fleet of your trucks going in there, what can make your truck extra special versus a combustional engine truck? And what kind of features, as far as work truck fleets, would make you like the cutting edge?
Well, I don't think it's a general, if you think of the mainstream pickup trucks that we all know, right? And again, everybody I think realizes pickup trucks are the #1 vehicle in the United States, right? So we're addressing the #1 vehicle. It's a #1 fleet vehicle and also the #1 professional vehicle, consumer vehicle. But the mainstream pickup trucks, they make the same one whether it's for commercial or consumers, right? Consumer might get leather seats and things like that, but it is essentially the same vehicle. So the addressable market for fleets, we thought let's, for the first time, build a vehicle for fleets. So it has things like power takeoff. You can run your power tools or your air compressor off of the giant battery, right? We have 120 and 240 output, right? There's room. We don't have a big V8 under there, so we're letting them store uniforms and boots and things they want to keep dry and secure in the front. So it has kind of a front type of thing. So dedicated, but main thing is price point, right? We're bringing this in at a price point that makes sense for fleets because in the end, we're telling them it's the least expensive vehicle they can buy, right? And that, of course, drives it. So if we say it's the least expensive, the safest, and the greenest vehicle that you can put your folks in, that's why we're getting such attention. So we have Sherry and Jeff here from our sales team. It occurred to us that we spent a fortune on engineering and getting this plant, but sales needs to, now we have enough meat on the bones to start to go out. And we already have 6,000 sales that we're incorporating over from the old workhorse truck, but we expect to grow that dramatically. So they're just newly on board, and you'll see the sales effort starting significantly. And we don't have to advertise too much. We're so new and innovative. Like Darren said, there's never been a vehicle. There's never been a hub motor vehicle before. So it's so simple. In addition to making it cost effective for us to make and manufacture, a fleet says there's only 4 moving parts in this vehicle, the 4 wheels. So nothing can break, right? So it's even going to be higher uptime than a conventional vehicle. So all that dovetails into, but you'll start to see the website expand. Right now the website is very small, kind of a teaser. That will continually to expand. Full specs are going to come out soon on it, and the sales effort. And imagine if we get triple or quadruple the sales we're expecting. That just lets us tool up. The reason we want sales up front, it lets Rich know how much to tool for here, right? Because we can't really get surprised and just triple production in a heartbeat. So the more we know up front, the more we can tool here, and the more faster the jobs come. So we've stated that 400 jobs to start, but I've also stated we didn't buy a big plant like this to have just 400 folks in there. We expect to get to full capacity with 3 shifts. That is our goal.
Okay. Okay, with that, if there's a couple more questions, and then we'll go.
50,000.
I mean, what's full capacity? You said 3 shifts. How many workers is that, and what time frame?
Well, if you go by what was conventionally here, I think that's just under 5,000 workers. We're not giving a time frame on that. It's just our goal.
So ideally, you'd like to have 5,000 people working here.
3 shifts.
And the 300 million will get you how far? Through that first 6,000 orders, or through what?
Well, the north of 300 that Mike's racing. It gets, it is to get us to profitability, right, with the first truck, right? Once you're profitable, and we don't want to run out of cash before we're making enough trucks to be profitable.
You have to fund the losses at the start,
Yeah.
once we get that done. This is gonna have good margins, we'll be self-supporting.
Hey, Mr.
So,
Burns.
It's more than 6,000.
We want to thank you again.
Okay, you gotta go. Okay.
Just 2 weeks ago, we talked about an electric shuttle in downtown Warren, modeled after Hollywood, Florida. So so I just talked to our commissioners here, myself, we're committed to, as we supported General Motors, to support you, so see how we can put some of these in our fleet as well.
Good. One suggestion on the name of the truck, instead of Endurance, was the Trumble.
Okay.
We thought about it.
Could be that.
All right. Okay.
Appreciate your support.
Thank you.
I'll do the next one.
Yeah, next.
Any other
Okay.
questions, or are we done with that?
And
Okay, go ahead.
And we want to have, if anybody's, we'd like to have Rich just talk briefly. He's the chief of production. He's going to be the one in here retooling this plant. He did it for Tesla, and he's doing it for us now. So, I think
Rich Schmidt.
it'd be
Go ahead,
good.
Rich.
Go ahead.
Steve, how many times have you been here now? You were here obviously before you bought it, and this is your first time here since?
First time I've been here since we got the keys. Rich was here to get the
Were
keys.
you here
on Thursday.
before you bought it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we had to. I mean, we had all the blueprints and everything, but you got to come and feel it and touch it to
And are you
to appreciate
touring
it.
the plant today? Are you going, are we
Rich?
allowed to go through? Are we going through?
Can you say your name and just spell it for everybody, please, sir?
My name is Rich Schmidt, last name is SCHMIDT. 30-year automotive executive, been through at least 5 startups, multiple model changes, 60 car plants throughout the world. When I joined Lordstown Motors with Mr. Burns, of course, I look at for my own personal career, but also the community career. Is it something I believe in, and it's something I think would be successful? And that's the reason I joined his team. It's a very world-class product. I've been part of some very world-class teams. 16 years with Toyota originally, 4 years with Tesla, and when I joined Tesla, it was kind of nobody thought it was possible. So this vehicle has more potential than that. Honestly, it fits a segment that Tesla can't really achieve, and it's in the right location. I started as one of these. Of course, I'm not a union background person originally, but I've started as the same as them. I started on the job, on the floor, right out of school, worked my way into the engineering program, and worked myself through my career. Been on the planning team for the German team in Volkswagen, spent a lot of time in Germany, designed plants, built plants, redesigned the Tesla factory, and the plastics and the paint departments, and retooled them and built them. Started in a very similar situation as this in all those startups. Nissan startup, a Hyundai startup, and built those teams. I have to say, I've only been here a few days since Thursday. Very appreciative to the community. They've been like, as soon as they hear Lordstown, they've been like super receptive. It's been great. I mean, even if you go down to eat at Ross's or you go wherever to eat, they want to talk to you. So it's been very community-based. The GM turnover has been great. The experience level here is amazing. Honestly, I've been all over the world. I hired a lot of GM workers in my past, but this particular team that they left here to kind of keep the plant under control and make sure everything was washed and kept in condition is amazing. The ability that they actually left here to do that. So hopefully, as the contract finishes, we'll incorporate most of that team. It's been, when I assessed the plant for Steve originally, you know, I said it's about $3 billion to build this facility the way it sits. That's, as I go through it this past week and a half, it's maybe even more than that. It's very, very usable, high-tech equipment that we'll reconfigure and reconstruct to our product. We have expansibilities really to 500,000 vehicles with very little modifications to the facility other than to work on our envelope size. So very excited to get the plan in motion and very pleased to be part of the community.
Any questions for Rich?
Nice, Rich.
You said 500,000 vehicles?
Well, they did 460 here. Of course, I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm coming from a more aggressive lean background. So what they do with 500, I feel like I can do with 700 with the local company.
Right on.
I don't have the overhead.
Yes, yes. All right. Good. And I think the plan is, anybody would like to talk to any of the management teams one-on-one, or any of these folks at the table, of course, please feel free to do so.
Again, we want to thank everybody for coming today. We appreciate all the support, and we appreciate the media following the story. As Steve says, everybody's hanging around, so if you need to talk to anybody, that will work. Thank you very much.
Good. Thanks.